All right, welcome everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing 5 reasons a $1,400 stimulus check may be arriving in 2024. That's the focus of the video. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. All right, now first off, before we get into it any further, I want to answer a quick question, which I see down below in the comment section all the time, and I'm sure I'll see it on this video, so I just want to answer it from the very start, which is for the low income and those people living on a fixed income like Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, spousal, SSI, VA, and RRB. Would you also be included? I just want to say this much really quickly. In the event of a stimulus check of any dollar amount, it is always focused on low income and those people who have an income below a certain threshold, whatever it is that they identify. Now remember, as a low income or fixed income beneficiary, is your income generally below these thresholds? I would say in most cases, yeah. Okay, so again, in this event, then of course, you would most likely be included as well. So anyways, want to throw that out there really quickly because I get that question all the time. I just want to say it really fast at the beginning of this video, but let's get into it and talk about those 5 reasons that I said there. And I want to point it all out for you because a lot of weird things are going on right now in 2024, and we still have a lot of the year to go and a lot of big things still happening. So anyway, let's get into it and talk through those details. However, really fast before we do, can I ask a huge favor of you? If you've not done so yet, or if you happen to be new here, first off, welcome and thank you so much for joining me. Can you please make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button right down below the video? Only if you haven't done so yet. It's totally free to do so. There's a big subscribe button down below. I'm here for you every single day, watching the headlines, doing the research, advocating on your behalf, answering questions, doing anything I can to help you out right now. I get it. It's financially really tough right now. We see all the studies. I see the comments. I see the stories. Again, it's a tough time out there. We're all in this together. It's rough. I totally get it, right? Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so, and let's get into these 5 reasons that I do want to break down for you. Now, I have to say this much as well. There are far more than just 5 reasons, okay? But in this video, I want to point out 5 that I'm watching very closely and break it down for you here in this video, okay? Now, I'm going to buzz through these relatively quickly because if I were to go into great detail on all of these, honestly, we'd be sitting here for an hour, and I don't want to sit here for an hour. I'm not sure if you do, but I don't, okay? I'm just going to tell you that much, okay? So I want to buzz through the details about this, and I want to bring you the details as far as these 5 that I've identified for you. I'll elaborate a little bit on each of them. I'm not going to go into great detail, but if you'd like me to come back and elaborate on each of them independently, I can definitely do that. Let me know down below in the comment section if you want me to do that, and I can certainly do that for you. I can jump on a live stream. I can do another video, whatever you want. I'm here for you in any way that I can be. All right, so number 1, unemployment. Okay, so I want to watch this one very closely. Now, remember, all of this is predicated on stimulus checks, okay? I've said this many times before in other videos. It's always based on the economy, every single time, okay? So anyway, this is number 1 that I'm watching, unemployment. Now, the last few months here, we've been seeing, surprisingly, the unemployment rate actually ticking up a bit, okay? Now, when it comes down to the distribution of stimulus checks, in my opinion, this is possibly one of the biggest factors that they watch to determine the health of the economy. Why? If unemployment is going up, it simply means that businesses are no longer hiring at the pace that they once were, or they're laying people off. In other words, cutting positions. That's not a good thing. Why would businesses do that if the economy is good? They don't. They hire in a strong economy, and in a weak economy, or when they foresee a recession or economic contraction coming in, that's when they start cutting positions because they need to start weathering the storm or getting ready for it, right? That's kind of the same situation here. So as we've been seeing the unemployment rate ticking up a little tiny bit going forward, or the last several months here, that's, not necessarily a good thing when it comes down to the health of the economy. But are we surprised? Not really. Why? Because it leads right into my point number 2, which is the Federal Reserve and their aggressive interest rate policy. Now, they have interest rates at the highest level that we've seen in many years, like 13 years as the last time that we saw interest rates this high, okay? So my point is, with the Federal Reserve keeping interest rates as high as they are, this is like, it's contracting on the economy, okay? It's not very good because we, the consumers and businesses, can only go for so long with very high interest rates. It's very expensive to borrow money. If you don't believe me, look at your credit card interest rates, okay? They're like 22%. It's not fun. Not that long ago, a couple years ago, we saw interest rates down around like maybe 18%. Now, again, I know that's still very high, but they've still gone up significantly since where they were just a couple years ago, even lower than that for a lot of people as well. So my point is, this is tough for a lot of people. Businesses, small, medium, and large, any type of money borrowing, anybody that's borrowing money right now, it's very expensive to borrow money right now, whereas a few years ago, ago, it was basically free to borrow money. Obviously not free, but it was very, very cheap to borrow money when we were sub 3%, and now we're like 8%, right? Very expensive to borrow money, and that's a rough situation for virtually everybody. And again, when we don't borrow money, what do? We don't spend money. When we don't spend money, what don't we do? We don't stimulate the economy, right? You see how this whole thing works, right? So when we're not stimulating the economy by borrowing money and spending more, that simply means that the economy continues to contract, right? All right, so that's point number 2. Now, point number 3 is inflation. Now, I would say that this one doesn't hold a whole lot of weight, but again, still something we need to continue watching because inflation is still very elevated right now, above the 2% range that the Federal Reserve wants, right? In fact, we've been seeing inflation going back up. So far this year, 2024, we've seen inflation going back higher, and again, not the right way. We want it to go down, but rather it's going up, right? So anyway, when it comes down to it, if we fall into a major economic contraction, I don't foresee inflation being like this whole big talk of the town thing anymore, like it has been the last several years here. In fact, I kind of foresee that this whole inflation talk would actually kind of just disappear, and they say, okay, who cares about inflation anymore? Let's just not worry about it. Let's just get this economy back on its feet again, okay? That's going to be the type of situation. That's what I foresee, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Only time will tell on that, right? All right, so anyway, that's point number 3. Now, really quickly again, I think I alluded to this earlier, but let me just make it very, very clear right now as well. As of right now, and again, I think most of you here in the community know this. I say this all the time in the videos, but again, I just want to make it very clear, make it very, very transparent. I think all of us know right now, no, there's not a stimulus check. A stimulus check has not been approved. And as of right now, we don't know if there will be one approved. But what I'm pointing out here in this video is a few different things that I'm watching very closely that may point to the arrival of stimulus checks if all of this were to come into play, or at least some of it, right? So anyway, I don't think that's any mystery. I don't think anybody of us here are like shocked, like, wait, what? A stimulus check isn't approved? I've said it like 1,000 times before in other videos. Anytime that I host a live stream, inevitably down below in the comment section, every single time I see comments saying, hey, when are we getting those stimulus checks? As of right now, we're not, okay? Anyway, I say that all the time. Again, I don't think it's a mystery, but I just want to throw out there really quickly here. I'm not saying that one is for sure coming. I don't know, but there's a lot of catalysts, okay? Remember, a catalyst is like the reasons behind, the movement in which, something that would push toward, something that would, be the reason why, okay? That is what I mean by catalyst. All of these different reasons. In fact, there's plenty of others as well, okay? Now next, point number 4 is potential recession or economic contraction. Now, we'll have to see here, okay? A lot of these are playing into this, and if the Federal Reserve, again, keeps the interest rates very high, in fact, they may even be forced to push the economy into a recession to bring this inflation down, believe it or not, okay? Now, this is something that's been out there for a few months now. Some people talking about this is, hey, they may need to push us into a recession just to bring this inflation back down to the 2% range that they want. We will see on that. We don't know for sure, but if we see a recession or major economic contraction, then the likelihood of stimulus checks goes up massively. Why? Every single recession that we've seen over the last, call it 24 years, they've all produced stimulus checks, every single one of them. Go back and check if you don't believe me. Just do some simple internet searches. You can find it. I've talked about it before in other videos. Okay, so that's point number 4. Now, point number 5 is what we have coming in November. Yeah, the presidential election, right? So this is another very important one as well. And again, this is a major catalyst. I'm not saying for sure that they're going to do something, but could they possibly float the idea? Do you think that would maybe, rattle the cage a little bit for the people? Do you think that would get our attention? If all of a sudden some people said, if you do the right choice, or, you do this or that, again, which by the way, I'm not here to influence anybody politically, not my style. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter, okay? Everybody has their own opinions, and that's totally fine, okay? I'm not here to tell you what to think or what to do. That's not my style. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to be that person. But my point is, do you think this is maybe a little bit of a motivational thing that, some people could come out and say that, hey, if you do the right decisions here, we could possibly get some checks in your pocket or something like that. Again, we saw the same thing back in January of 2021 in Georgia. Remember that whole thing? Yeah, okay. So it was just... it's a real thing. It's something that's a real factor here that we need to take into consideration. And, I wouldn't put it past them. Just here's the thing. We don't know what's going to come over the coming months here. We've got a handful of months here to go, and very important stuff. Now, I want to point this out as well. If we go beyond November and nothing is said, does that mean it's all game over? I would say no. In fact, that's just a tiny factor of this whole thing, okay? But I would say what is most important is 100% the economy, the jobs reports that come in every single month, and all the details about the economy and what the Federal Reserve continues to do with their interest rate policy going forward. In my opinion, those are the most important because those are going to have the most direct impact 100% on the economy. And remember, it's always economic based. Every single time, it's always economic based, okay? It's not us writing letters. It's not us making phone calls. It's not us sending emails. It's not us making videos and saying, hey, we need a stimulus check. They couldn't care less if that's the case. That is not what it comes down to. It comes down to the economy, the health of the economy, and does the economy need an injection of stimulus? That's literally what it comes down to, right? That's why I said a minute ago, when the economy is in a contraction or a recession, they stimulate. How do they do that? Through stimulus checks, right? It's the same old song and dance. They do it all the time, and they've done it for the last long time. Look it up, okay? Look up the recession of 2020, 2001. Check that one out, the dot-com bubble. Check out the recession of 2007, 2008, 2009, the subprime implosion there. Check out the recession of 2020, 2021. Same old song and dance. The unemployment goes way up, the economy's in a contraction or recession, and they print up money and they push it out in the form of stimulus checks so that we spend it and stimulate the economy. Anyway, does that make sense? So leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. I'm going to wrap it up at that, and hope this answers it for you. But there's a lot more to go on with this. There's many, many more reasons than this, but these are the ones that I want to break down for you here in this video. So if you want me to come back and elaborate, let me know. I can always jump on a live stream and do what I can for you. But either way, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends on my social media. Go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel in the video library, or those that I've hand selected for you down below in the description or at the top of the comment section, or right now on your screen. You'll see some videos popping up. So make sure to check out one of those right now. Take your selection, and I'll see you again in just a minute in the next video. Enjoy your day. Take care, and I'll see you again in just a second.